This man was shot, and he got up, and like in that moment, he knew his purpose on this planet. He went from Donald Trump, any Donald Trump before that moment to the Donald Trump afterwards. It's a totally different character. It's someone who knows that God saved him, and he's here for a serious purpose.
Determined, focused, fierce. I don't care what you think about me.
Yep.
I'm a fighter. I think when I look at where we are in our nation, I just had Gordon Chang on. I'm sure you're familiar with him. And Gordon there's a lot of doom and gloom when you go to Gordon's Twitter page, but I believe it's based in reality. I don't think it's something, I think it's at our own detriment if we're not paying attention, or if we don't really understand the threat that is at our door already, or have already let itself into our country. And I think in order to get us out of this muck and mire we find ourselves in, it's going to take someone like that Donald Trump seconds after being shot. That, if you can package that, put it in a bottle, that is what we're going to need every day over the next 4 years to get our country all right.
Do you swear on your podcast? Can I swear on your podcast?
Go ahead. As long as it's not too hard.
No. That was some Rambo shit. That was like, look.
Yes.
There's no moment. Again, there's nobody who gets shot and gets up that is sober. All right, maybe if you're drunk, you get up, you flail around.
Yes.
There is nobody sober who gets shot, realizes they've been shot, realizes somebody just tried to kill him, shoot him in the head, and gets up and does that. That is like, that's the 50,000 foot that everyone is overlooking. Look, it is iconic photos afterwards. Iconic photo before.
That's it.
But like, nobody gets up like that. Nobody gets up and goes like, first he's like, let me get my shoes, because the microphone.
In our dreams, when we think about, you know, like when I think we all think we're courageous.
I'm not.
I met some people who know that they're not. You apparently happen to be one of them. But you know, on our best day, this is how I will behave. But to act seconds after something like that, that's the real person. I mean, it's like a balance sheet. It's a snapshot in time. That is who he really is. And I think we've seen that since 2016, but using your way of speaking, now we've really seen it.
Yeah.
That this is who he is. And bad, good, indifferent, whatever your thoughts may be, if you're looking at this country, you love this country, I think that's the kind of person we need to get us into the right position again.
This is like the Mel Gibson character in every Mel Gibson, like when he leads the army. Every time he leads an army, like, they'll never take our freedom. Like, that's like, I'm telling you, man, like, it is so, again, it's so remarkable. If I'm shot, right, if I realize I got shot, I'm staying down and I'm letting those Secret Service people just carry me out.
Y'all figure this out. Find out where that threat is. You're right. You're right.
He's like, get out of the way. I got to throw my fist in the air and yell, fight. And like, there was something to, and like, I know we focus on him there, but there's something to when he did that. If you watch the crowd, like, see, I'm going now. I'm getting a little, because it got me, and it's such a powerful moment.
Yeah.
When you watch the crowd erupt, and they're like, they knew what happened. You know, apparently CNN didn't for like 2 hours. He just fell, apparently, according to CNN. But the crowd knew exactly what happened, and they erupted. And there was it's just another level. It's like final boss, like third act. Like, this is the bringing it home. And like, wherever this goes, man.
We're there with you. You know, I mean, honestly, I mean, I was just saying to someone a few moments ago, I am so impressed with how our side of the political aisle is behaving right now in this moment. Because I often feel like I'm being set up by the left. Like, they're setting me up. They're putting me in a position so that I can respond, so that they can come January 6th in us all over the place, right? Chasing us down. You know, you put something out on Twitter or Facebook, the FBI showing up at your front door. I feel like these people are doing things to set us up, whether it's the 20 million that is now coming to our country. I know they say 10 million. newsflash, they don't know. They're
Yeah.
just guessing. These are just guessing games at this point. I believe it's more like 20 million, right? And my number is just as accurate as their number at this point. With the whole transgenderism, grown men gyrating in front of little children. I feel often that they're trying to set us up and that I have to exact extreme control over my emotions and my thoughts. And so this moment, that assassination attempt, it was one of those triggers that could have gone so wrong. I believe on one hand, it was just the providence of God that Donald Trump is not dead, because I think that I can't see how we survive as a nation if that had happened, when you have half the nation, right, being so divided. But on the other hand, we saw what happened. And our people, if anything, I see focus like I've never seen before.
Hmm. Yeah, no, look, I have not been one of the people who has been like, God chose Trump.
Right.
I like him. I just liked him. Thought he was funny. Thought he was great. Loved that he was beating all the consultants. All the consultants I knew, the $1 million consultants. I remember sitting with a lot of their staff at a bar during the first debate for 2016, and watching them lose their minds as Trump behaved the way that I would have on that stage, right? And I look at that and I'm like, because that's why I never criticize, and I never would, his mouthiness and what he says, like from day one. And I'm like old school DC. Like I look at him like, man, that's what they would call me an idiot. They would say like, I'm
Yeah.
too mouthy. They would be like, that's the guy. He's saying what people at home say watching the stuff.
Yeah.
He's and I say all that to say, like, I've never said like, God chose him, because I never think like, God chose me to be where I am or anything like that. God saved him on Saturday.
It
There
really
is
was.
no
It
explanation.
was just the
for that.
grace of God.
There-
Go ahead.
No, I've never, like, you took me as a pro MAGA Trump supporter who, like, look, I'm one of those guys. I don't worship political people. I'll tell you when you're wrong. I think he's made a few mistakes over the years. I think he's hired some real dumb people around him. But now I'm like, this guy, God saved his life the other day.
Yeah.
There's a reason he's here. There's a reason that he is the voice. I've always thought that he says what I would say in these positions.
Yeah.
And I look to him and I'm like, and a lot of people at home, look, I'm just a normal guy that grew up in Baltimore, like in the hood, Baltimore. You would never believe, because I'm so white. I grew up in the hood. I grew up in the hood in Baltimore and grew up poor. And I have never changed. My mentality has never changed from that. I've had a lot of opportunities. I've been involved in a lot of stuff, been in a lot of interesting rooms. I'm not a name dropper like a lot of these. By the way, I hate that when pundits are like name droppers. The other day I was on one of these X Spaces and somebody was like, I talked to Sebastian Gorka the other day. And I'm like, I don't give a F. I don't care what the guy, he's still selling Ukraine. He's selling Zelensky shirts on his website still. So like, look, I'm not one of those guys. But in all of my experience, I've never forgot where I come from. And Trump speaks to the kid who grew up poor in Baltimore.
Yeah.
He doesn't speak to that political class. He brought out a side in me through all of his politics that I'm like, I just want to cheer for this guy and I want him to win and I want him to be I want him to be mouthier. But now you add in that aspect that I fully believe that he was saved by God the other day. And there was no other explanation for that. And now, like, I'm all I wasn't all in again. Like, it's like sort of like earlier when I said, he knew who he was before. Now he knows who he was. Like, I was all in before. Now I'm all in.
Yeah.
Like, look, I was ready to go. I got my Save America hat. I'm a red hat wearer now. Like, that's the new. Now I'm not wearing it for this, obviously, but like, I'm a red hat wearer now. Like, I was not before. Like, I was pro Trump, but you never, it's an old timey hat. Like, these are kind of like boomerish hats. But I am now. Look, I'll do it now. Here we go. Look, I do have hair. A lot of people don't think that because I wear hats all the time. But I am now a red hat wearer. And I'm proud to be. Because that's where we are. Because America is on the line.
I think it's going to take that.